We were shooting with multiple cameras, and we did not have marks. And those marks that it had taken me so long to figure out what they were. We didn't have marks. We very rarely rehearsed. And the whole idea behind the style of the show was that we would basically walk into a space. Everything was shot. We didn't have a sound stage, so everything was shot on location. So when we were shooting at the Coach and Tammy's house, we had a house that we had for 5 years that was their house. And we would go in and Kyle would start making bacon, like for real, on the stove, and we'd start cooking or start doing whatever we had to do. And so we would create, or on a football field, we would create the space. um, we would just basically start to live in the space, and we would have the script, which would be a really strong guideline to what the scene was going to be. But we also were given the freedom, and it worked so beautifully with our writers. We were given the free, and I think it took Jason a little bit of time to get on board because it was such an unusual way of working. And I think most showrunners really like to, they're very protective of their words and their vision of what it is. But, Jason very generously, but I think also very smartly realized, this is its own entity, and it has a life of its own. And the writer is absolutely essential to that, but it is a true collaboration. So, the writers I think just took to that so beautifully, and it was because of their great writing that we then could take the freedom to get what their words were and let it come to life. And sometimes that meant being on script, and sometimes it meant not being on script. But they trusted us to improvise it and to take what they had done and to run with it. And um, and at the same time also with the cameras, because we had multiple cameras shooting all the time. So it felt like, and on our show, because we didn't have marks, what I was talking about in terms of not wanting to know where cameras are. I very rarely on Friday Night Lights knew. I made a point of not knowing where the cameras were, and the cameras would move, and those camera operators were extremely empowered as well to tell the story. And I learned really early on. I thought, there's really not that much I have to do here because these camera operators are telling the story. They would just find a little moment, or something that you did with your hand or whatever. And, I realized that was where it was happening. And then it would go into editing, and then we had these amazing editors, and they would just take all of this footage, but they were always true to performance, and they were always true to storytelling. So it was a beautifully collaborative experience.